Well, kids, sit right back and we're going to tell you a tale of two former semi professional wrestlers. I'm Beal.
And I'm Travis, and this is the Travis and Peel Show. Ah, memories.
Yes, and this story begins as so many. Um, it began with the tale of three young boys.
Three little boys.
Three young boys in the search of glory, dreams, and to touch the stars.
And boobs. We
And
were looking
boobs,
for
yeah.
that too.
Yeah, it's a really funny story. So as some of the people maybe watching knows that back in high school, yeah, 16, 17, 18 years old, we were doing, professional wrestling. It was local like venues and stuff like
Right.
that, but it was legit. We were in the ring, we had, gimmicks, everything was going, and
We had
it was really crazy
formal
thing to be
training.
doing at that
Yeah.
age, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was ridiculous. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and go through how this happened. Like how did this even come about to where people in their three youths could even make this happen, and then kind of the stories and adventures that we went through, and the different organizations that we got to wrestle with, and yeah, and kind of the road stories along the way.
Yeah. And there are quite a few, and we'll try to cram it in as quick as possible, but this is probably going to be a big video. So Peel, so there were three of us. It was Peel, myself, and our friend Doyle. And at first it was you were a part of King Style Wrestling. You did some training
Yes, sir.
sessions with them and everything, and then you had known us by then because we were just starting our friendship and
Mhm.
everything, and this was kind of the catalyst that brought it into like more of like a brotherhood situation between us three. But
Yeah, all of us were
you,
meeting in high school.
yep,
I believe at this time, I was a sophomore and you two were
we were
juniors.
juniors. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, this is when we were really starting to hang out, and
Hmm.
we got to know each other.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, this was something that I was doing like 2 years prior.
Hmm.
Is right when I moved to Mississippi from Orlando, Florida. And of course, big culture change and everything that was going on. But like most people that age during that time, being a young man, I loved professional wrestling, WCW, WWF.
Oh yeah.
It was just, it was my jam. And that's one of the things that we really, ended up talking about and getting along about. But yeah, so made this move, come to Mississippi, and in the newspaper, there was an ad for a professional wrestling training center. And I was like, what? A professional wrestling training center? So I called it up, got the information. About a month or two later, an article came out featuring this group, King Style
Mm.
Wrestling, doing this venue at like a local entertainment complex. And I was like, oh man, big page. The whole layout was all about King Style Wrestling, and how the instructor kind of came up into the business, and him running his school here on the Gulf Coast. And I was like, oh, this is totally legit. So I started doing it, met up, and started going to these practices, learning all the basics and everything like that. And then, of course, going back to school, talking to people about it. And, that's when you and Doyle come in, and
Hmm.
you guys are just like, oh man, that sounds so badass. We're always talking about wrestling. We're always doing this.
We were
And it
interested
just,
immediately. Yeah,
oh yeah,
we wanted a part of it.
it was it was really fun because at that time it was only myself and like three other people who were around my age that were there. So getting people that I know to come with me, and also getting car rides, because that was one of the problems that I was having.
Hi.
So we're always hopping in somebody's vehicle and going to practice, and it was just, this was our weekends.
Yeah,
We go to school all week long, and then on our weekends,
it was
every
training.
Saturday and Sunday. Getting up early and driving out, 20 miles or so to go train in this warehouse where this ring set up,
Hmm.
and just going in there with what, 14 to 20 like grown men. I'm talking,
All do like
anywhere from the
all
ages of like
yeah,
22 to like, 50.
45, 50. Yeah, it was crazy. Like it was, and it was intimidating at first when you brought us in that first time, man. It was uh you definitely felt singled out because you are clearly the youngest or some of the youngest in there and
And so
everything like
so
that.
small. Like
But like in but
we're 16, 17 years old, and we're just like,
really
teenage
tiny,
boys. Like,
yeah. And but it was interesting. Like you can kind of get from the start, like from the get go, that these guys all, for the most part, liked each other, which was
right.
really cool. I like that immediately. There was definitely a fraternity feel to it, and some of the guys, more the well known or more established guys there. It took a while to kind of break those personas a little bit to get them more comfortable with being around us, but eventually that ended up being like a really almost a close knit family. There were a couple of instances where there were
Mhm.
like cookouts, and they invited like my family out there, and we had did barbecue and wrestled a little bit, and a lot of
Yep.
fun stuff. But this organization brought us to some really cool stuff, which we will touch on a lot of those cool stories. But let's go into a few memories, like actual physical memories and stuff like that. So we have some images here. Let's get to the images. Excuse me 1 second.
Yep, that's a video we're going to show you because we do happen to have a VHS converted to digital of one match.
Of one
We
match
had a
and
whole
a bunch of
collection.
matches. Yeah.
We had literally a duffel bag full of VHS tapes
Really
because
good
remember, this
matches
is,
too, man.
1998, 99,
Yeah.
2000.
So it's all
Or yeah,
VHS. Yeah.
99, yeah, 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's all VHS. Digital wasn't that big at the time. You remember, we're older, so it's just kind of crazy that we had all these tapes. Of course, they got lost. Various people that had them, usually with Katrina because it was this centralized place on the coast. So Katrina kind of took everything away.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
happened to find this one video, and there's others online of the same wrestling
Mm-hmm.
organization, and some that even kind of have us in it, but they're very long videos and
Very
be
long.
kind of hard to get to those outtakes.
Yeah, so here are some videos of us and everything. So I'm gonna have to like move this around a little bit, so the quality is not gonna be all that great. But right here is a great picture of this is me, you, and Doyle. This is our friend Doyle who was with us in this
Top
journey
left
and
corner,
everything.
yeah.
Here in the top left corner. Hey, let me give you my cursor. There it is. So me, Peel, and Doyle. This here is at CPR Fest, which was a huge moment for us in this organization. Probably the biggest moment for us, just in terms of our wrestling quote unquote careers.
Right.
We'll touch on that a little bit more. And the next shot right here, we have Peel and Doyle doing a little test of strength right here. I love, and I'll tell you this straight up, Peel. I fucking loved your gimmick. Like I loved the whole Frost persona, and it was just really cool. Like you were kind of like that Kevin Nash of the NWO of the group and everything.
That was my thing.
And I loved like your homemade outfit, the frost stitching and everything with the blue flames and stuff like that. Like I really dug. I really dug your gimmick. Like my gimmick was Gunner. Freudian slip there. Was Gunner, and for not any reason, the name sounded cool, and like I never really, my gimmick never really grew into my name. It was just kind of like a name I picked. It sounded good.
And you had camouflage.
I guess the camouflage came later because I was a part of the Mississippi Mafia, and the Mafia wore camouflage at the time. So that
the white and black camo.
Yeah, the white and black camo, and that picture's in here as well. But that's you and Doyle doing a test of strength. I remember they used to get mad at, or Ken, the owner of the organization, would get mad at us because we all chose black, and he's like, you gotta do more than black. Everybody just can't be wearing black. You gotta change your color. So we did some spray painting, and we did some, like, Peel had his stitching and everything right there. And then we have a couple of matches down here on the bottom left, and these images of you and me going at it. You doing some of your moves. That big splash, man, I'm gonna tell you what, man, like a little 120-pound skinny ass frame Travis going up, and Peel, you were a very easy person to work with in terms of like your physicality and stuff like that. You're big and posing, especially towards a guy like me, but like you were extremely light. Like for wrestling terminology, there, like you can either be like a light or loose wrestler, or you can be stiff, or you can be a very stiff wrestler. And you were surprisingly very loose in your wrestling.
But I sold that hardness.
But I'm gonna tell you, that splash was brutal every single time.
Oh, I love that. Was me laying it out, man.
That splash.
That's me getting the air. I mean, raise that picture up. Raise that picture up.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Airtime, boy.
Yeah, look at me, man.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Like that's almost like a quarter of the distance from the ring that I take off and actually launch.
Yeah.
And then after I hit that splash, I do the move to the left. That
Yeah.
was that
The
X
face
Factor
plant. Yeah,
off
the
the
X
second
Factor
row.
face
Yeah.
plant. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then the pictures over here, we got me and Doyle. That's my black and white camo. That's what the
I
final
mean,
evolution of my gimmick
outfit.
right there with the Mississippi Mafia. And down here, this is the other wrestling organization on the bottom right here. And they didn't let us do our old gimmicks. They wouldn't let us bring our old gimmicks from the other wrestling federation and everything. So we had to create some new ones. And I wasn't a fan of these. Like they chose them for us. We had no like
Yeah.
at King Style. They let us be and do whatever we want. But like Mid South, like,
in like creation of like our characters and
we had
gimmicks
no
and everything.
no say whatsoever, and I hated my gimmick. I had to wear a mask. I couldn't breathe out of that bitch. Like it sucked. It sucked. Was not happy with that.
Did you have it tough, Travis? Was your gimmick hard to sell?
Not hard to sell because my face was covered up, so it's not like I had to emote the entire time. It was hard to breathe out of that mat. Wrestling with a mask, and you wrestle with a mask too. That is not fun. You think you're in shape. Do a 15-minute wrestling match with a mask on. It is not a good time.
So we'll break it out now before it gets brought up later on in comments by parties who already know. So down the bottom right picture, I am dressed in blue pants and a blue mask and a white sparkly shiny shirt.
Yeah. Terrible gimmick.
Actually, it's a really funny gimmick, and it was kind of a play on like Gold Dust, and my gimmick was Little Boy Blue and the Midget 2.
Oh,
and
right.
I came
forgot
out
about the midget. Oh my god.
I would come out to the ring with a grown man,
Little person.
On a leash. Oh, okay, he's a midget. We got things on leashes here, so there's no degrading this.
It's bad. Like
yeah.
both of us are getting canceled, but both of these characters right here were canceled. I was supposed to be a Mexican man.
Oh man, but yeah, it was a really crazy gimmick. I sold the hell out of it though. I really did.
You did. You owned it, man.
I
like
did.
You did.
I can honestly say that I have grinded a midget.
Yeah.
In bondage.
Yeah,
Not me. I wasn't in bondage. The
midget was.
the little person. Yeah.
The small person. Was.
Yeah.
This,
so yeah, there you go.
The one cool
things you do for the love of the sport.
The one cool thing about this match right here was that we were at our high school. We actually got this in our high school.
This was in our high school.
And that was a fun little match. So we decided
we sold it to the school. We sold the tickets. We brought everything,
yeah.
and like we did that.
We performed.
Made this happen.
Yeah, we performed stuff in the school, like during like the morning,
like promos leading up to it.
The morning common area, like we were doing promos like live there, getting hit in the head with chairs and shit like that. Like it was.
Yeah, I smoked the shit out of Travis with the chair.
I was concussed. There was no joke. I missed like 2 periods. I was in a nurse office for like 2 periods.
I wanted to sell it, man. It was in front of the entire school.
I was
like
concussed, no doubt.
But hey, we all got out of class because we just faked injuries due to the promo. So hey,
there was no faking that injury, my friend. That was I was out. And I remember I was laid out. I'm serious. I was seeing stars. I was hurt. I knew there was a whelp on the top of my head. Peel smoked me with a steel chair. And I remember hearing this girl, "It's all fake. They're all best friends. It's all fake." And I'm looking at her. I'm like, "Bitch, I want to knock the shit out of you right now. I am hurt. I am seriously hurt." So
all right. So let's get into to the actual video. This is from King Style Wrestling, and you're gonna get the introduction from the creator and instructor and owner of King Style, and it goes into a match between Travis here as Gunner, and Doyle Moran as Blade. And so I was not in this match at the time, but I do end up making a special guest appearance.
You do make an appearance, a really great appearance.
I do. And we also have a little footage of one of our friends, Melanie McManus, as you'll see. So this is going to be pretty fun. Do we have the audio good on this?
Yeah, it's the audio's as good as it can be for the recording.
All right.
So
there we go.
Listen to that music. There's Melanie and Doyle, and I hope we don't get a copyright strike for the Blade soundtrack.
Well, this is all for we're just reviewing, so
Yeah, it's all fair use, man. It's all commentary.
yeah.
So anyway,
we're just reviewing.
so there's Doyle coming in here. Like by far, like
Look at that hair, man.
if we're gonna,
man, I bet you if he's watching this, he wishes he has that hair still.
let's
Oh
be,
man, I'm glad he had that long hair back then.
Let's
He
be
got to enjoy
completely
it.
honest. Doyle was, in terms of physical ability, we could not fucking hold a candle to Doyle.
Oh yeah,
Doyle
ridiculous.
was just an absolute specimen of athleticism, and
Yes,
he
100%.
would do just like the flashiest stuff. This is one of our earlier filmed matches that they let us do like, at their shows. Doyle is amazing in this fucking video. He is absolutely
It is
amazing.
funny because with Doyle, it was literally like, "Hey Doyle, can you get on the top rope and do a backflip? But while you're doing it, can you do 3 twists and then land in a splash?"
He's like,
I'll try.
nailed it.
Lands it, and it's just like,
Nailed it.
are you fucking serious?
So-
if Doyle literally, if Doyle would have stuck to this and trained, he probably would have made
He could have made it.
to a pretty decent level.
Yeah.
I mean, and even now, I'm like, he's all jacked up.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny seeing him here, so like tiny and
Look at me.
scrawny.
Look at those
'Cause,
arms,
like,
boy.
like,
Look at them.
Doyle's huge now. Doyle's like, bigger than me. Oh man, look at these two. Look at the spin. Oh yeah,
So
locking it up.
So we came out with Doyle came out with Melanie. At this time, they allowed us
Give me the backstory.
they allowed us to do this really cool storyline where the three of us were fighting over a girl, and we talked to Melanie at school, and we're like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" with us?
Isn't
It'd
that
be
what
really fun.
teenage life is?
And man, like it was great.
Look how deep you got in on that. Oh, look at that hip toss, man. It's like your arm dragging him like crazy.
Look at that. I guess I gotta lock him
God.
up. Gotta lock it up.
So deep. So deep. Oh man.
So
Fake?
yeah.
Where do you get?
So we did basically this series of matches where we were essentially fighting over Melanie, and it culminated into this final big like no holds bar triple threat match at
at
this
CPR
at
Fest.
CPR Fest, and in the southern Mississippi area, the WCPR was like is the
Gulf
big
Coast.
is the big rock station that's over there, and once a year they do a huge festival, like outdoor indoor music festival, and they called us with King Style Wrestling and said, "Hey, do you want to set up your ring in the middle of the festival, and in between the bands changing their sets out, you guys get to do 20-25 minutes of wrestling throughout the entire day at this 2-day outdoor festival event." And I'm talking like this is thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
Like Live was there, Godsmack,
Collective Soul.
Citizen Kane, Collective Soul,
Yeah, it was great. So it was a huge concert.
Three Doors
like,
Down.
Yeah, 3 Doors Down. It was a huge concert. So we wrestled literally in front of thousands of people, and it was probably the highlight of our career altogether doing this. And we got to do a huge match, the three of us in the ring together, all fighting over Melanie. And at the very end, we were all
Look
like,
at Doyle just doing backflips like
he's
it's nothing.
killing it, man. He's
Fucking
killing it.
dude kills man.
But at the CPR Fest, with the culmination of the entire storyline, we're fighting, beating the shit out of each other. Melanie comes into the ring, and then like power bombs and Hurricane Ranas us and hits us in the nuts and everything. And Melanie essentially walks out, being like, "I don't need none of y'all." And like the crowd was losing their mind, dude. Literally thousands of people. It was the most amazing experience of my life, and it sucks that we lived in a time where
Cell phones.
and like there were
iPhones
cameras.
wasn't
Like,
even out yet.
we live in a world where a camera is like in
Nobody
everyone's
ordered from
pocket.
Amazon when this was happening, okay?
No.
Amazon was just books, okay? That's all it was at this time, was like, you get a book from Amazon.
Yeah. But these were just like amazing times. So like, props to Melanie for joining up with us to do that. That was a good time, and we got to go to CPR Fest for free, and like I don't know, that was just a great experience.
I loved it, man. It was a fun time, and we got to camp out there. That was one of the other things
was
that
fun.
happened at this event. It was camp out. It was like what, 2 or 3 days, and people got to camp overnight, and we had the ring set up the entire time. And like late at night, once like all the music and stuff shut down, it's like 11:30, 12 o'clock at
Started
night.
going at it.
everybody's like, having fun, drinking, doing all this other kind of stuff. And then, some of the wrestlers from the group and everything started getting into the ring, just kind of like started having matches. And all the people from like the campground came out. So we're out there like 1 a.m. in the morning,
Just doing a
like
show.
just, like taking bumps, dude, and just killing it with all these people watching. Everybody's cheering and going off. That was probably one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, that was
Doing it
good.
during the daytime, during the actual show was awesome, but it was hot as fuck. Hitting that mat sucked.
That was so
So
hot.
when we
It
did
was
it
like,
at night, just having all that fun and everybody being free, that's what I really liked.
yeah, I remember that mat. It was like 95 degrees, and that mat is kind of like a plastic material, and it was boiling lava hot during that thing. Ooh, that headlock takedown. No one can make a headlock takedown
Snap
look
it.
that good.
Oh man, and then the commentary during these matches
Look at that
too were
flip!
like so
Look at
funny
that
on the
boy flip!
videos. Oh, Lee got ups. Look at this. Oh, look at this jacked up spot. Boom.
Oh, the
Sell
Val
that DDT.
Venus DDT. How about that?
We just ripped off all of our favorite moves from like WCW and WWF.
Even in the pros, man. Even in the pros, they rip off each other's shit.
Yeah, I mean that's all you do. We just find like spots and moves and thinking of how great it
do our
was. But
favorite
with
thing.
Kingston, was all basic maneuvering. It was it was hip tosses, it was
Yeah.
arm drags, it was wrist lock takedowns.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's what
But
you did.
here-
Tackle pancake sunset flip. Tackle pancake sunset flip.
But here, like this is where we didn't learn. Like we learned the basics. We didn't learn at King Style the momentum, like the momentum of the match, like how to create a rising
The
action.
highs and the lows, build the crowd into it.
Like how like the good guy's always getting his ass beat, and the good guy's like starting to come back. He's starting to come back.
Oh,
and
here's
then
your guys'
boom.
spot right here.
Oh yeah, the roll
Boom.
around. Yeah,
Go for another pin, and then he rolls around for another pin.
another pin.
And then
Lou
they
LeBeau was so
Ken
pissed.
Ken loved that.
Yeah.
That was like his. You guys just roll around on the ground and just
Yeah.
keep going at it, and the referee's gonna keep dropping down and
Yep.
trying to count.
Yeah.
Oh man. See right there, they're calling a spot. Look, you can't tell, but
What are you talking about? Calling what? I do think.
oh man, but yeah, we had
we fuck
we
up
had
a
fun
spot
times,
somewhere
though. It
around
was
there. Oh,
great.
with a flip!
Ooh, look at that right here. Boom! Look at that. What was going on there?
That was a
But
botched
it's okay
spot.
because the real highlight of this match is about to happen. Why?
And there he is!
Boom!
Oh my
man.
God! It's Frost! It's Frost is here! What is he doing? Power bomb by Frost! Oh my God!
Oh, look at that power bomb. Now this one looks pretty crappy.
Bam!
Travis was tired on that. Look at that hair, man. Look at that hair.
And he
That's
takes
right.
Melanie
That's right.
away, and you turn around and you go, "Fuck yeah!"
Oh man.
it's
Laid
so
him out.
good.
Ooh.
So good.
Oh, so yeah, there you go. There's the little piece that we have out there. And like I said, there are some other smaller snippets on some like compilation videos that I found, but it'd be rough to go through. But one was like just a big like locker room brawl, and so it was
yeah,
just
that's
funny
right.
to watch everybody going at it and like
That was
hitting
fun.
each other with.
That was a
you
good
know, it's
night.
like getting smashed through tables, and yeah, it was a fun time. We had sinks full of water. Like,
Drowning each other in the water.
oh,
So,
it was
yeah, that a good
ridiculous.
time.
Hitting each other
Yeah.
with sheet pans.
There were some really cool matches. If I want to like reminisce a little bit, like one of my favorite matches was actually a match between you and me. I don't know for the life of me, I can't remember what you did, but you got in trouble at home. You did something. I don't know if it was school related or I don't know what, but like you got in trouble at home, and your mom said you're not allowed to wrestle for like an indefinite amount of time. So you had to like you couldn't join me and Doyle on the weekends and go and wrestle and stuff like that. So we had to do this wrestling match. We were like, hey, look, like we have like I understand I'm punished, and you were like, can I just do this one match? It's like in 2 days, and then I'm done. And we were able to do this storyline where, as I got into the ring, and I got the phone and I said, "Look, my people I just joined the Mississippi Mafia," and I'm like, "The Mississippi Mafia boys told me that every match should have a stipulation. There should be something, you're fighting for and everything like that. So how about this?" We had a big, you and I, like we were tag team partners. We were Liberation. Then we broke up because of the Melanie thing, and then we were just sick of each other.
And
so
we did this a long time before
this
the
was
Hardy Boys.
before it was
Just saying that.
it was taken by
Just saying.
the Hardy Boys. Just putting it out there.
We had T-shirts made, and no
We
kidding,
did.
we actually went and got T-shirts screened made. Shout out to Doa's uncle.
Yeah.
The- our tag team name, Liberation, and then on the back it said, "Yo ass just
Just
got
got
liberated."
liberated. We thought we were so cool. We thought we were the coolest. Oh man.
Oh man, I wore that shit to school.
Oh, I did too. And we wore it together. We were just like, look at us. I felt like we were walking like in slow motion, like down the hallways of the school, but the entire time people were like,
Sunglasses on,
what the fuck are you doing?
sleeves
What are
rolled
you
up.
wearing? And
Take that shit off. You look like an asshole.
you look like an asshole. All right, so but yeah, so that match ended up being where I called out a stipulation where how about if we whoever loses this match gets kicked out of King Style, and then my tag partner, my high flying ace with the Mississippi Mafia, snuck me some powder, and then at the end of the match, I behind the back of the referee, I powdered your face, knocked you out. 1, 2, 3, you were kicked out of King Style. That was one of my favorite
Actually,
matches.
I think you and you did a maneuver off a chair to like finish me. I forgot what it was. 'Cause remember, yeah, I got powdered or something, and like I went and like laid in the corner, and then like you came off the chair with like a jumping, wasn't like a jumping hurricanrana,
I don't
because
remember.
you ran at me, snagged me, flipped me over, pinned me, boom.
That was a cool video because like we had like our girlfriends in the audience and they had signs made for us and stuff like that. It was just like a really, really cool. That was a cool video.
Yeah, those VHSs. I wish somebody still had them because I would love to get a hold of
They
them, and
have to
like get it
exist.
like digital, man. Because there are so many. Like they would literally blow your mind if you saw this stuff. And because if
They're so
anybody who's
good.
known us, if they were to watch this, they'd be like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, those
This
were
is you?" It's
fun.
like, yeah, this is me.
Those were fun. Any other highlight moments? Anything like that that kind of grabs at you? Like I just
Oh man, going into Mid South, like we said, King Style was, more of that like family net thing. And then once we got connected with Mid South and went there, it was more of a, I mean, they had like a local TV spot every Saturday
That's
night.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like at 12:30 a.m.
It was like
but
local
still, it
cable
was on
access.
TV. Yeah. And they had a spot every Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
And we got put on the show. We traveled to like a lot of different places outside of the state,
Yeah.
and did matches, and we had a lot of freedom in what we did in our matches.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, they controlled our gimmicks, and they taught us a
Psychology.
different way of wrestling too. It was definitely way like stiffer, but they also gave us free range. Like it didn't have to be the weekends when we go train. Like we just had access to the ring
Anytime we wanted.
and
That's right.
they were challenging everybody to do way more than they're used to. They're like, no, do this, try this, get up here, hit on the ropes. Like they had me starting like doing springboards off the rope and stuff. And
Same
that's
with
something
me. Like I had to learn a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that I was not very comfortable with that they didn't care. I didn't do in
Doyle
King
loved
Style.
it and excelled.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, the ropes were like super super stiff and hard, so it made his job even easier to like be really really to be like really flashy with his
And we did like, this is where we did the event with the school and everything, and we did ladder matches and everything. I mean, we busted each other open.
Triple threat double ladder match at our high
Ladder match.
school, and that was another highlight for me because I was like one of the things that I wanted to do. I hated my gimmick. They did allow me to wrestle that match since it was at the school. They allowed me to wrestle without my mask on. I asked, I was like, it's my school. I want them to see me. Like I want to wrestle without my mask. They don't care about the storyline here. And they made us the main event, which was really cool. No one had a problem with it. They had a lot of guys with tenure in that locker room, and not a single person had a problem with us being the main event.
Yeah, and at this time it was
cool.
you and Doyle's senior year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a fun time, man, and that was a really crazy event. And
my mom, my dad, my girlfriend
did
at
you
the time
take
was all
the
there.
is that when you took the baseball slide double kick outside of the ring to the face?
So
with the ladder?
Yeah. So what happened? My big risque move was, so I went ahead and did the juice job. I had a razor blade like taped to my armband, and I did this move where I was off of the top rope and jumped off the top rope outside of the ring where Peel was standing to like give him a hurricane rana, and I landed like on him for Hurricane. I go to lean back to flip him over, but when I lean back, he just holds me. Like, he doesn't fall for the Hurricane Rana, and he has me, like, dangling by my legs upside down around his neck, and he's holding me up by his arms.
This is the stairs.
And he is outside by the steel steps, and he swings one way, and then, like, golf swings me into the steel stairs, head first into the steel steps, and then I'm laid out for like a good 2-3 minutes. And while I'm doing that, I'm like pulling out this razor blade and I'm like cutting myself. And before the match, big mistake. Before the match, I took the advice of one of the wrestlers in there. I was like, "Oh, you're juicing? You're juicing? Go ahead and take a couple of these Tylenols before you juice." So I took, like, about an hour before the match, I took a couple of Tylenol. And when I did that, I cut myself and I like squeezed, like really like put the pressure in my head. And then when I got up is when I unveiled the blood. And a couple of funny things. One, my mom and my dad are there, and I can hear my mom, and she's like, "Come on, get up! Come on, get up! Come on, get up!" And I get up, and she's like, "Come on, get up! Oh my God, he's bleeding!" And my mom lost her fucking mind. It was the funniest shit ever. But that was cool. So I had a white jumpsuit on. That white jumpsuit was almost red from the top down. It was amazing. There are pictures out there somewhere of me like all busted up, like, because the yearbook staff it was an official yearbook staff thing. There's pictures of me with the yearbook staff like bloodied up and everything like that. It was a really, really fun event. I did get some cool props because it was kind of hard to like get in. They're all about like earning respect in that Mid-South locker room, and it was really, really hard to kind of like talk to people because you try to talk to somebody and they won't talk. It was nothing like King Style where it was like a brotherhood, and you had to kind of earn it. And I walked into that locker room, and it was the coolest thing. I probably shook every single wrestler's hand, and that was like that was one of the most like profound moments for me as a professional wrestler and stuff like that. Just have these guys who never gave me an inch of a day, and then the second I walk in there, it was just props. I really appreciated that. That was really cool. That was a good match, and I mean,
it was a fun match, man. We're literally jumping off ladders from the inside of the ring to the outside of the ring.
That match hurt so bad.
I did stuff that I never thought I would do in that match, because it was like, hey, we're in front of everybody that we know, just laying it out there.
Yeah.
It was fun, man. Like we did this, I mean, I did it, just like a year and a half longer than you guys, but we went into it for a while. And then even after like everything kind of faded out with Mid-South, met up with some other people we used to wrestle with and did some spots. But what completely just drove me away from it was one time I was practicing with some people, and a couple of people that I know, and we were working, and he was a top rope Frankensteiner. But when I was going over, his legs were still locked. Like usually when you're coming down, you're supposed to kind of release, give you a little, leverage and move around, and it didn't happen. And I came down, boom, right on the top of my head. Ooh. And I couldn't move. And that scared the hell out of me. And I sat there for like 3 minutes and I couldn't move. Everybody's like gathered around me. And then like just after like a split second, it's like a shock. And then I could move again. And I was like, oh. So after that, I was like, nope, not doing this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, man, those were good times. That high school match was my last match. So it felt good to kind of go out with a bang on that one. It was good to go out on a highlight for me. That was a really, really fond time of my life, man. Like I don't know if I would have enjoyed high school as much if it solely wasn't for professional wrestling. Like it was just
man, it was just this
and like
random thing that happened and built up to such a great just friendship between like three people and everybody else who was involved. When we brought other friends in at different times. Some of them just didn't want to do it, or they didn't like it, or they just whatever. But it was fun. Like it was really cool, like bringing everybody in. And then even when we were just like in backyards or like meeting people for the first time, we'd start running spots without a mat.
You're like, hey, you're the wrestling guys, why don't you do some moves for us? And we would just like beat each other up in the backyard and stuff. Anything for attention, us guys. Yeah, man, it was good times.
Us? No.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not the least bit. But let's go ahead and let's finish this up, man.
Yeah. So on that note of not needing attention, can you go ahead and like, subscribe, share, comment? Let us know what you think. If you ever got to see any of the shows, if you're one of those people, or if you got pictures or video, hey, you know, it is a small world. Things happen. But yeah, we'd love to hear your take on this. And yeah, we will definitely talk to you soon.
Peace out, brother.